In this video, you can see a superset I used to start my chest workout for the day. So I was using bands stretched across our Sornex Hurricane machine, across the loading pegs, and I was squeezing the bands with a twist of the wrist to where you can see the band was coming out of the hand from like the outside, like the pinky side of the hand. And as I was squeezing in, I was turning my wrist. That further activates the chest than compared to just a regular squeeze. So this was a good exercise to pump the chest and kind of activate the chest and get my mind muscle awareness up for the workout. I then went into dumbbell neutral grip incline presses. And the key on these presses was during the execution, you can see my hands were staying wider than my shoulder width. So during this press, the bands would have helped me activate my chest muscles and get a good sense of the chest firing and contracting. And it also would have actually fired across kind of the midline of the fibers of the chest. So then going to the dumbbell incline press, especially with a good stretch in the bottom, it actually stretched open that little bit of pump from the bands. And that neutral grip allowed me to take away the front shoulders. And by staying wider than my shoulders, it allowed me to deactivate my triceps and keep the tension on my chest at all times. So the incline allowed me to focus on more upper chest rather than the middle or lower chest. So all the combination of all this allowed it to be a kind of neat, unique stimulus to the chest muscles and helped me increase my performance in the dumbbell presses by using the bands first. And then also the uniqueness of the position of the dumbbell presses allowed me to get a very good stretch tension on my chest and make sure I targeted the mid to upper chest, which is typically a spot that lags behind. Now you can see the next superset I went to in the workout. It was actually continuing the concepts of kind of bands into presses, but it changed the style of each stimulus. So the first superset had bands where I was trying to squeeze them together with an overhand twisted into neutral grip position. This, you can see the bands are actually vertical and I'm squeezing them together like a cable chest fly. However, as I'm squeezing together, I'm actually moving upwards in a little bit of an angle. So that way it can better activate the chest, including the upper inner chest, which is typically a hard area to target. So I did that for 10 reps. And then you'll see that I went from 2 strands of the band down to a single strand of the band, straightened my arms out and tried to focus on bringing the pits of my elbows together and shortened the range of motion. So this allowed it just to kind of further the tension of the bands and allowed me to really target the inside edge of my chest. Then from there, I was using the Smith machine and I had on reverse banding. So this allowed it to be actually 30 pounds lighter at the bottom than at the top. So this was a high touch press, like a guillotine press, to again focus on the upper chest. And that deload allowed it to be less stress on my shoulders in the bottom position, but still a heavy weight towards the top of the motion. So this was a great combination to continue the stress on the middle to upper chest while getting good mind-muscle connection. Here's the setup for the band. So we had one band across the top of the post of the Smith machine. The other band was under the bar. This allowed it to be deloaded, no assistance at the top, but the 30 pounds of assistance at the bottom, which you can see in the plates we placed to kind of test the weight deload. And to finish off the workout, I did single arm kind of cable flies from our adjustable cable column. So this exercise is unique in the sense that in the stretched position, when the hand is pointing towards the cable column, there's not actually a lot of tension. There is some tension, but there's not a lot of tension. And what that does is it allows for kind of like a good mental connection to start the motion. So rather than kind of like a throw or firing the front delt or the bicep, you can focus just on activating the chest. And then as you squeeze to the midline where the hand comes out in front of the body rather than to the side, there's actually an increase of stress just in the positional increase. So the weight load on the stack doesn't change, but the position is a disadvantageous position, meaning it's a weaker position to hold that tension of weight, so it actually feels harder as you get the hand to the midline. This helps to activate the inside line of the chest, which is again kind of a hard spot to grow. So a lot of the exercises selected in this workout were intended to target the most difficult places of the chest to grow. So this was a good exercise to also work on unilateral connection, so that way you can make sure one side kind of feels the same as the other, and you can kind of decide, where and when you should place your hands or fire certain muscles to get the chest to activate equally side to side. So this helps kind of even out any growth disparities from one side to the other. Then paired with this was dips, and I actually did an assisted dip, and I had my knees barely on the edge of the platform, my butt sticking back, so that way I could really lean over into the motion. And this allowed it to feel almost like a declined version of a neutral press. So this took out the front shoulders, and as you noticed, I don't lock out towards the top, so it's actually taking out the triceps as well. So the idea of this is to get a really good chest stretch and actually fire and squeeze through the chest only, keeping out all other muscles. This actually is very difficult to do when you focus in on the chest, so it's a really good stress, and it kind of helped to finish off the chest fibers. So in combination, all these exercises together equal a very good chest workout, targeting all the areas that are mostly missed with major conventional movements.